Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 10th of December. So let's just have a look at the risk events today. Let's just make sure I've got today on here would be good. And you can see it's largely already the UK data already out. Quite a few misses there, but low value numbers coming through. But saying that industrial production and manufacturing, you really don't want to be dropping at any time regardless. But anyway, fallen down a little there to come out today. EC President Lagarde is speaking there due to participate in panel discussion on the online event hosted by OK. Right, maybe not affecting us too much, but I don't know, she may be leading on in interest rates at some point. Inflation this afternoon, that's the key figure I'm really seeing this in the US there at 1:30. So that's the biggie for the day, so we'll leave that. Okay, bond yield or yields, let's have a quick look if it'll update for me. It seems to be wanting to dilly dally. Here we go. Okay, so getting back up a bit more is the picture there. We saw the lows come through last week into this week, and well, it's starting to pick up again. And well, when it does, as I said, it's quite correlated with the US dollar, so not surprised if you see the dollar pushing up a little. Let's look at the markets then. In fact, I'm going to start off with the US dollar because we're sort of we're in this wedge pattern at the moment, so important sort of levels across the wedge that sits there. A breakdown towards sort of 95.83 might see still more dollar selling, but anything starting to push up. It's sort of got this inside bar yesterday, a break to the upside, maybe a bit more bullish, and see the we got a, I may as well draw it on actually. We've got a trend line running down here we should be watching. This is the wedge that I'm referring to. So that's the key area below the 21, basically daily 21. That starts getting bearish for me, but for the dollar. But otherwise, it remains in the bullish zone. Right, let's look at the individual currencies here. This is the inverted dollar, effectively. Or the inverted euro is the dollar, whichever way you want to look at it. But again, inside bar yesterday on the euro, selling off. As we're looking at the moment, I'm sort of looking at 112.77, probably as somewhere in that region as a sell point. That will confirm a lower high. What we've seen so far, and it's still in that row, is the higher low that was confirmed a day or so ago that pushed up. But this movement here, it's still giving me higher lows, so effectively it's still on the upside. So really I just need to see that low taken out to be more bearish on the euro. There's not much difference to see on the time frames there. You could actually start drawing trend lines across and be looking to play the flaggy pattern that's sort of sitting there, but it would be a bit more conservative and safer, breaking just below the 1280. Right, that's the euro to pound. If it stays above it, then we would look for bullish opportunities potentially. The pound itself, well, another inside day there. It ended up a bit more positive, but we'll see how it can do today. It's run into its 4-hourly 21. I don't know, it's not looking the best, but it has just got the higher lows go through there. Here it becomes a bit more bullish above 32, 30, 34 area. A breakdown of the current candle actually below that. There's a trend line it's already broken. Actually, it's had a nibble at running across the lows here. It's run out largely over the Asian session actually, so it's walked out sideward. But more confirmation would be a break of the 34 there. Okay. It's a bitsy market at the moment in terms of not complete clarity. It's easier when you're sort of sitting in trends, but we're back into what we saw like here when you get these chop zones, and certainly with the yen, it's not particularly clear. Not quite an inside bar yesterday at the moment, pushing up. current day, and when you sort of come down the time frames, if you can't make head or tail of it, then leave it. And well, looking at this, it's quite a mess, very choppy mess. It could be caught into, so best left. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar ran into its 21 yesterday and never really recovered. That sent it back, but still in this sort of it broken the upward trend downward trend originally. It's still got potential. I mean, a break above the sort of 71.85 area puts a higher low in and would suggest further upside on it. It's just looking soft where it was. There's some divergence around the highs there, and a break of the break to the lower side at 71.30, and it becomes bearish. In the middle, for me, it's no man's land. It's not tradable. So it's just patience needed there. Canadian dollar, looking at this 4-hourly picture, it's just come out a little bit. It's pivoted around here, and it looks like it could be putting in further high, pushing up further. It's just not managed to get much in the way of traction to the downside for sure, and it's looking like it's now, well, it's double topped here at this stage, and a bit of divergence across there. Maybe that will mess things up a little bit and showing a bit of weakness in this up movement. Traction either way is difficult at times, but when it starts going, and it may be a break above that 27.20 area becomes much more bullish, and maybe we'll get a bit more momentum with it looking towards the 60-minute 200. Okay, yeah, that's the CAD. We won't bother looking at the New Zealand dollar because it's not really going anything. Let's look at commodities then, starting with gold. No real shock here, but yesterday carried on the rollover, sold off, and it's just looking soft. Lower highs coming through on the 4-hourly time frame at the moment. To me, it remains in that sort of softer zone. It broke down the trend that it was building up yesterday morning. In the afternoon there, and it's now, as I say, looking a bit on the softer side. It's just come back on the 4-hourlies. There's no divergence. I was just looking to see if there's any obvious divergences sitting there. Not really. It's still heading south at the moment. Gold, oil had a quite a turnaround day yesterday. It pitched up, put a new high in, and then closed lower than the previous day's low. So key reversal bar in an upward trend. Well, maybe a sell below the lows there, below the 34 I'm looking at, would make me a bit more bearish. We could be looking to get in a bit more aggressively on the trends here, but 70.34, somewhere in that region, would just be a continuation to the downside. Hasn't managed, and well, dollar strength coming through as well, but hasn't managed to continue that shove we saw there. So okay, right, let's have a look at the other markets. He says. So I don't know why I'm in the Forex majors. I was looking at something there. Let's have a look at the cryptos first as they're in order and see what was going on. Let's get rid of, there we go. So as suspected yesterday, really, well, it just carried on to the downside there, and well, it's still looking bearish for me, Bitcoin at the moment. I'm not looking at this as a day trading currency or a day trading crypto. I'm just looking at it purely at the sort of bigger picture here. As I say, so for me, just looking at this, it just looks soft in terms of the technical patterns it's put in here. Ethereum also now starting to turn around. A break below its daily 100 would be far more bearish, and we could see a continuation to the downside. We've got this sort of area which was providing some support originally, that though, but if we run through that daily 100, as I say, I'd be much more bearish on that, and it doesn't look great at the moment. Also, Ripple setting up on the more bearish side. So all three of these that I'm looking at are looking certainly softer and look like they've got further downside at the moment. So if you, for me, I wouldn't be looking to invest in them at the moment. Right, if invest is the right word, trade them. Right, moving across, let's have a look at the indices. Overnight, the Asian session, we saw another surge up there yesterday, but today it's gapped down. It's sort of an inside bar. Well, it is an inside bar here. It's quite difficult to work out where that's going now. Just run out of momentum. It obviously gapped down but closed up slightly higher in itself, but it's still down for the day. And the Nikkei, well, starting to get a bit bearish. It certainly hasn't had the same sort of moves as we've seen in the CSI 300. It's much more bearish to me at the moment. It's certainly shaping up a bit on the bearish side. FTSE, well, as I said, it couldn't keep up the gains from the earlier part of the week and has since given back, and not massively. It could just still be a little bull flag in the lower time frames. Well, would be a little bull flag in the lower time frames, and it could still turn around at some stage, but looking decidedly softer at the moment. I did mention this yesterday in terms of where we could just sort of be going for where we've been going for the sort of pushing up towards the highs. That it could these markets could come off. The money's been coming out of them for some time. Or certainly the S&Ps. So DAX, well, never got as near to its highs as the FTSE did. Looking again bearish Harami a couple of days ago. It's really just seeing a continuation of that move. Likewise, CAC also running south at the moment. So all in all, it's everything's fitting. It's pretty much the same sort of story everywhere. For S&Ps at the moment, looking like they're trying to get a little bit of grip here, and they are. It's a bit like the pound, where they're closer to their previous highs. Anything that really sort of drives these could see them take the highs taken out. But for now, just looking a bit on the soft side, running across the three main US markets. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. I wish you all a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday, and I'll speak to you then. Take care. Bye for now.